President Bush says Saddam's days are numbered. The Allied commander says Iraq suckered him on helicopters. And fear of violence in the Soviet capital on the eve of an outlawed rally. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. President Bush is at odds with his victorious war general Norman Schwarzkopf. Schwarzkopf says he wanted to fight on to ensure Saddam Hussein's defeat. President Bush says that isn't so. But he predicts Saddam will fall anyway. More from correspondent Wyatt Andrews at the White House.
The president has wished for Saddam's demise before, but today marked the first time Mr. Bush flatly predicted it would happen. The violent unrest inside Iraq, the president said, is probably Saddam's last stand.
With this much turmoil, it seems to me unlikely he can survive. People are fed up with him. They see him for the brutal dictator he is.
The calculation that Saddam is finished helps explain why the U.S. is staying neutral in Iraq's civil war. Simply put, if Saddam is doomed anyway, the U.S. can afford not to get involved and can avoid the quagmire that aiding the rebels could become.
We were there under the United Nations resolutions. We're now trying to finalize the ceasefire, and that'll take care of the U.S. role.
Mr. Bush also took to task his top Gulf commander. General Norman Schwarzkopf told interviewer David Frost he had opposed the president's decision to stop the war a month ago tonight. Schwarzkopf said the decision was courageous on humanitarian grounds, but said he would have pursued the Republican Guard deeper into Iraq.
Frankly, my recommendation had been, continue to march. I mean, we had them in a route, and we could have continued to, great destruction upon them.
Defense Secretary Cheney and the president immediately refuted that.
All I know is that there was total agreement in terms of when this war should end. I have such high regard for General Schwarzkopf that I'll let him explain what he said.
Despite the president's prediction of the fall of Saddam, the White House for now actually prefers Saddam to the chaos of Kurds and Shiites vying for power. Ironically, the White House hopes that Saddam holds power long enough to put down the rebellion, but becomes so weakened in the process, his own army or inner circle takes him out. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, the White House.
The commander of British forces in the Gulf said today Iraq is breaking the terms of the ceasefire by using helicopters against rebels. Nonetheless, President Bush has indicated U.S. forces will not attack those helicopters of Saddam. Pentagon correspondent David Martin has more on the struggle inside Iraq.
Iraqi television showed Saddam addressing his cabinet, still apparently in control. But U.S. intelligence analysts give him no better than a 50-50 chance of holding his country together and keeping himself in power. Kurdish rebels have defeated his army in battle and now control much of the north. Unlike rebels in the south, the Kurds appear to be united under one leader, Masoud Barzani.
We hope that we can liberate Iraq.
Intelligence analysts say Saddam is being whipsawed between north and south, moving troops back and forth depending on where the threat is greatest. Right now, it's in the north, where rebels hold the country's fourth largest city.
The government seems to be massing forces for a major effort to retake Kirkuk. But at present, that city still appears to be in the hands of dissident elements.
The administration's decision not to contest Iraq's use of helicopters against the insurgents may turn out to be crucial to Saddam's survival. One Pentagon analyst said if he didn't have them, he wouldn't have any chance at all. Saddam has the helicopters because General Schwarzkopf granted an Iraqi request that they be allowed to use them to transport their government officials.
I think I was suckered, because I think they intended right then when they asked that question to use those helicopters against the insurrections that were going on.
Another decision which could affect Saddam's survival was the order to stop the ground war and allow the Iraqi army to escape with at least some of its weapons. Weapons now being turned on the insurgents.
Forces loyal to the government have frequently used heavy artillery, tanks, multiple rocket launchers, and helicopter gunships against entire cities and towns throughout the country.
One weapon Saddam has not used against the insurgents is poison gas, although within the past few days, U.S. intelligence has picked up signs